What's your sense of how big a challenge it would be to go to Sochi right now?
You know, if I had tickets to the Olympics, I would go. There is certainly a risk. No place around the world, regrettably, is very safe anymore, certainly not the Olympics with the threats we've been hearing about. But I think it's a manageable risk. You're not going to be able to avoid crowds, as you point out, but you can't avoid straying off the beaten path. You can take certain precautions in how you get to Sochi and not deviating from the instructions you're given by the security personnel on the ground. So you can take prudent precautions to reduce the risk. I think, as others have pointed out, that the risk is greatest outside of Sochi, outside of the Olympic Village, the transportation hubs. We've been hearing a lot about aircraft risks, but probably the train stations may be a greater risk than that.
You've said that the Russians are not sharing adequately in terms of information about what they're doing and what they think the threats are. What do you think they should be doing in terms of working with us that they're not?
Well, they'll give us information when there's an exterior threat. So if there are people in France or Austria or elsewhere that they have reason to believe are a threat, are going to come to Russia and pose a problem, they'll share that information because they have to. They need us and our European allies to act on it. But if it's information from within Russia that would reflect badly on the Russians, that would show the magnitude of the problem in Russia, that would disclose some of their sources and methods, they're not going to want to share that. They haven't been sharing that, at least not to the degree they could. And if we had the advantage of that information, we could better protect not only our people, but theirs as well.
So, Senator, let me pose a similar question to you. You've received briefings as well. You know the threat in Sochi as well as anyone. Would you go? Would you recommend to your constituents that they go or that they stay home?
Well, I think the congressman's assessment is pretty accurate. There's a heightened sense of concern. There should be. I think any reasonable person understands that there have been threats made. I think probably the greatest thing we've got going for us in terms of security is Vladimir Putin's reputation's on the line. And let's face it, Russia probably isn't quite as concerned as the U.S. in terms of civil liberties, and you know, they're not quite as respectful of human rights. So they haven't been afraid to kind of roll up plots and that type of thing, and they've got a lot of people on the ground there. So inside, I think the Olympic Village, I think the security level's about as safe as it's going to get. I think the greatest threat would be traveling. But the fact of the matter is, we live in a dangerous world. These threats that we face are real, and you know, people need to be mindful of that at all times.